Can we check mic testing? 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Does we have started our live or not? Let me just check in a few seconds. I think so. It started, but let me just confirm once. Are we live? Yeah. Mic testing. 1 2 1 2. Are we live properly? Yeah, I think so. We are live properly. Let's start today's practice session. So here we are back again. So in the last time, which means yesterday's session, we have been practice the memorizer, create a memorize function. In this, just a hint, we have been created closures and objects. With the help of that, we have been created. So let's move with the next question, which is a private state factory. Write a functions create secure counter that return an object with increment, decrement, and the get counter method. The underlying count variable must be strictly inaccessible from the outside. Okay, let's give a try. How we will think. We have to create a function. Okay, so let's create a function first of all. See secure counter. So we have created a function. Okay, so let's call him. Okay, const. Okay, const. Okay, we have give a input out. Okay, so like this. So const counter dot encounter. Okay, like this. So let console dot log. Okay, counter dot increment. So like this we have to. Okay, so first of all we have to create the counter also. Const equals to counter equals to create secure secure counter secure counter. We have been create the secured counter, which means get count. Okay, like this we have to do. Okay, so what we can do is let me think. We have been created a secure counter. Okay, so in which we are calling like this. Let's understand the question thoroughly. What we have been told, returns an object with the increment decrement counter. Okay, so which means we have to return something which is a closure. Okay, return an object with increment or decrement. Okay, let's see. So we have created. Okay, so how it's working, just see. If we increment, so it will be plus. If we decrement, it will be 0. Okay, so get count. Okay, there is a something get count. Okay, let obj equals to new object. Okay, we have created a new object. In that we have a value, right? Okay, which means the value is not accessible from dot count. Okay, count strictly private, so count should not be accessible. So let's create a private variable count equals to 0, which is not accessible. Okay, so return object dot. Okay, object in object we will be create dot increment method, right? So let's think about it, how it will be work. Okay, so it is in a function. Okay, so which return increment I just forgot. Actually we have tried multiple time, but not so deeply, so we understand this. Let me think how we can create a dot increment here. How we should create? We have a function, right? In that we are having an increment method. So how does we create a method inside the function? We have to return something. In that return we will be performing certain kind of a task. uh, like this, see here return, which means it's a little confusing. How do we create a dot counter increment? We have to return something, right? um, Let it be return increment. Okay, in that uh, this we have returning function. Let's try it. We are increment returning like this increment, and that increment we are count plus plus. We are having a return function. Okay, got it. Not like this. What we can do is return the object, right? We can return an object, what we have said, not creating like this, creating object, and in that we are having a value like increment. We don't have to increment. In that we are saying that the value is count plus plus, right? So what it is about, count plus plus. Okay, return increment equals to count plus plus. Little bit confused, but it's like this only. Increment get count equals to, okay, get count, which means console dot log count. Okay, after that if decrement, which means count minus minus. Okay, it's like this. Okay, let's see. Okay, console dot log okay, we can okay. So I hope the screen is visible fully clearly. Okay, there is some mosquito here which is intake my blood. Okay, nice. Let's them kill first of all. So let's console dot log increment. So what we can see, let's see. Okay, count plus plus. Count plus plus. We can't access the count plus plus. What's the issue? Count plus plus token. Okay. Let's return it. Return. Return. Let's check. Assuming that it's working. Okay. Count. Unexpected identifier. Why it's so? I have to use this count, right? Okay, so issue is I can't access. Okay, first of all, let's just check what does this counter is here. Okay, we are not able to see run this. What's the issue here? I think we have to retrieve, but in the questions here itself, see what we have said. Return an object with an increment. Okay, increment. Let's okay. Let's give this name. Then also we got to okay. Sorry. No, the count issue is there. What is the count issue? We have to use the count over there. We have to access this count. This is a private variable that we have been created. This is a private variable, and we have to use this private variable inside this thing. let's say console dot log count is we are able to access the count. No, we are not able to access the count. But why? This is an inside thing and we need to access this thing, right? How can we access this thing, count? Let's just think about it. We have a private variable and we have to use that private variable inside our object, right? How we can use it? By creating closure. Without closure we can't create. Return an object at increment. I think so we have to create an closure. So in the closure, which means we have to create a function. Okay, in that we can use increment. Okay, we have to create. Okay, let's just see, does it accessible? Actually it's a object functions, right? So let obj equals to object, and in that object we are creating something. We have created an object. Inside this object we will be working, right? So inside this obj space. Okay, yeah, okay, that's fine. We have been create increase and it is a value of count plus plus. It have second object dot decrement, which will have the value of count minus minus. Okay, and we will have an object, right, which is what it is about. It is about get count, which will be have a count value. Okay, and yeah, that's it. We are returning a function anonymous. Okay, counter dot increment undefined. Okay, let's okay, increment a counter is not a increment is not a functions. Okay, so I think we have done something wrong somewhat. Console dot log. Okay, counter dot get counter. If you call like this, increment is not a function. Okay, if we just randomly call, nope, nothing works. Okay, console.log undefined. Why it is so? We have created a closure and in that it returns the object. Okay, undefined console.log counter anonymous function it is. Okay, we are doing something wrong, I think so. Let's just see how to create a closure. How to create a closure in JS. Let's just check, analyze how we are creating a closure. Okay, functions created outer functions return the inner exposure functions. Okay, like this we are creating something counter and all. Okay, I think we have done. Okay. Again, this my fault. Let's try again. Let's remove this all. Let's see. Create a counter. Okay, first of all, we have created a private variable, right? After then return, and we have created increment. In that we have to create a function. Okay, functf function. We have created an anonymous function. In that we are doing count plus plus. Let's see, does this work? Okay, after that we are creating get counter. In that we are creating a function which is count. Okay, so let's see, increment functions. Okay, create a encounter and we will call. So it's undefined again. Why it is so? Okay, they should be return and return count value. It should return count. Okay, so get count over decrement equals to function and return. Okay, before returning, what we can do is pre also, instead of that, first minus minus and then count return. So let's see. So now we understood this mistakes. We will be try to not again repeat again. Okay, now it's 1. So if counter dot increment once again. Okay, it's we call again and again, so we got it 2, right? So if we got counter dot decrement, then it will console.log counter dot get counter. So here we got 1. So you can see first we got here when we call this, so we got count 2, and after the decrement calling we got a count 1. So like this it's work. Okay, so we have to understand like this in the object, which means closures like this. Object, inside object we have been putting as a value as a function, not the returning function itself. Previously we are returning the function itself, because of that we got error. Okay, so we have understood this. Let's move further. Let me check, is there any mosquito who is sucking my blood? It's irritating. Mastering this prototypes. Method hijacking. Write a function that borrows an array method like array.prototype.slice to convert a custom object with the numeric keys and a dot length property to a real JavaScript array. Okay, let's understand how we will be doing this. So what it is about, method hijacking. Okay, write a function that borrows an array. Okay, let's see how the input and output statement is. Okay, its input array will be array like, okay, length equals to 3, something 0 1 2 3, so length 3, result execution result is equals to convert to array like this. Result is like this, and is dot array is result true. Okay, method dot hijacking is something like this. Okay, just a second. Yeah, here is a mosquito who is sucking my blood and increasing my temperature. I mean, my anger issues. Let's see, method hierarchy. So write a function. So writing a functions. Okay. So we got a question here. Method hierarchy. Okay. So convert to array. Uh, convert to array is our question, and let's input, copy the input from here only. Okay, why it's not copying? Yeah, let's not copy this. Okay, we have been copied, and let's now move forward. Okay, so const result equals to convert to array, calling that an array like. We have been called the array like. Okay, in that we have been put in so array like, so which means convert array. So let's object array like we have to do is array like. Okay, currently it's a object. Okay, so we have to convert it. So what else the question has been informing us? Let's see. Write a function that borrows an array method like array.prototype.slice to convert object an array method like to convert a custom object into a numeric key with a numeric key and a dot length property in the real JavaScript array. Write a function that borrow an array method. Okay, like array.prototype.slice to convert a custom object. We have to convert a custom object with a numeric keys and a dot length property into real JavaScript array. Okay, let's see how that's working. What we can say is this. Okay, but there is a tiny mosquito who is irritating me, who is distracting me from my live session. I will take revenge with you taking your life, mosquito. You will be regretted. So let's see. Okay, the output is like this. So object, we are having a object. So let's console.log obj.length length. So we got a 3. So which means we have to create a let array equals to new array, which means object dot length. It will be cells. Okay, so in that I have to put. Okay, so what we can do is write a loop for let key comma value of object dot varies not entries object dot entries from the object. Okay, in that we will be trying to take the answer. Okay, so array dot push inside push we will be pushing the value and return array. Before that I want to say console.log array. Let's see. Okay, array is empty. Array dot push. Okay, rather than we can do is array dot length is 3. So instead of that, we can also, without using the length, we can do, or what we can do is array dot array dot key equals to value. Yeah, we got the same exact thing that we want, and we are returning array, so we have to just remove this. So like this, and console okay, console.log, and that is putting the result console.log array. Okay, array dot is array there is a method which you have to see. So we will got true, and yeah, we got the same. This I want to check, is this a correct form, or we are just we call in Hindi we call tukka. So I just want to see, is this the correct form to updating this. Okay, check this question, is it proper or wrong. Check this question solution. So okay, questions we have been put in, and we are putting the answer. So let's check why the current code fails. Fail the prompt core rules. The prompt exactly asks you to borrow an array method using call. Okay, using slice or using call, your code uses manual loop entries instead. Okay, type version issues, object entries, object, convert the keys into a string. We are using the array.key. Okay, the correct way to solve it, to hijack a method, create holes, sparse array, because your object only has a key 0, 1, 2. The object enters skipped the index if it does not have a value. Place call creates a continuous dense array automatically. So how they have been, okay, oh, they have like just one. Okay, the question also tell the borrow the slice method and apply to it array like object. Okay, so we didn't understand the question actually, but this is also a way to do. Okay, let's see how they have been done. So they are like just return array dot prototype dot slice dot call object. Okay, so what does this do? Borrow the method slice. Okay, we have been using the slice and call together. So what does it does? Okay, it's the same thing that we have been done. So we can either do this thing, or we can also doing this thing we have done. But according to the questions, they have properly mentioned to proper hijack an array method, use borrow the slice method. We didn't use this slice function. Okay, no issue. You can also create like array from like array. Okay, these are the various methods that we will try in future and practicing. So what is this next question is custom polyfill. Implement your own version of function prototype myblind context.arg. It just mimic the native.blind method without using native.blind.apply inside the return function. Okay, let's just try this question also. Custom polyfill. Implement your own version of a function.prototype.myblind. Okay, like this also we have having something. I didn't know about this. Have you heard about like this functions.prototype.myblind? If yes, let mention in the comment section. So we also know that, yeah, people can know about this. So what is polyfill pipeline? User in a function create a custom context object, context user. Where is that mosquito? I can't able to see that him. He is little bit small, too much small, but he is biting with his sting very fast. mm, okay, now let's say custom polyfill. Okay, my blind input of functions and a custom context object, const user name Alice. Okay, we have a custom object, function greeting. Okay, punctuation, return greeting this dot name, punctuation. So if it's like this, the question little confusing, and which it's, what is the question? Input of functions and a custom context object. Okay, so we are having a context, okay, name, in which we have a object in which we have storing a name, and in the function we are using name and punctuation, also the greeting. By calling the blind, this is little complex, but let's try. We have this information, right? So what we have been told that in the question, see, implement your own version of a function dot prototype dot bind. Okay, these are the prototype like things that I have never tried. I've never practiced like this prototyping thing. Let's try it. How does it? Prototype dot my blind context. What just it? Context and that argument. Let's explain the question first of all. I didn't get the question only. So how I supposed to do? Explain me the above the above questions. What what does this mean? Don't give solution. Solution. I will solve it. Just explain me the core concept of it. How does it mean? What does it mean? Let's understand the question first. I didn't got the question. The core goal. The task asks you to recreate JavaScript native. Okay, JavaScript native .blind method. Okay, from the scratch. You will attach your custom version to function.prototype so that any function in your code can use it just like a real thing. Okay, what does native.blind do? In a JavaScript, .blind does not run a function immediately. Instead, it acts as a function creator. Okay, it's a function creator. It takes an existing function and return a brand new copy of that function with two major modifications. Locks the this context. It is permanently forces the keyword this inside that function to point to whatever object that you have been passed in as a context. Preloads argument. It's let you optionally bake in some initial argument .args ahead of the time when the new function is eventually executed later. It remembers those preloaded argument and appends any new ones passed during the actual call. The specific rules of the challenge: no built-in tool inside. You cannot cheat by using native dot call or dot apply or dot blind inside the functions that you return. This is actually the next level's thing, but I have never tried. We have to start with object oops programming so we can solve like these questions. So for now, just we gonna see how they are solving. uh, so how do I solve this? What are the core things that I have to remember before solving this type of questions, and what is the right way to think? Let's us understand by AI only. To solve this program and any advanced JavaScript prototype challenge, you need to shift from writing standard code to think like a language designer. Okay, here are the core concepts to remember the exact mental blueprint for how to approach it. The core things to remember: the power of this inside prototype. When someone calls my function dot blind, the keyword this inside your my blind functions points directly to the functions being bound my functions. You must save this reference into a variable so you don't lose it. Actually, these are the most valuable things that we are practicing this and understanding, because these are the core concepts which we rarely think about, and because in the today's programming, but it helps into to understand the deep concept of the language. Returns a value in a blueprint. Your function must explicitly return functions, okay, or an arrow functions. You are not executing the code, you are building a wrapper functions to call later. Closures are your memory storage. The return function forms a closure. It will definitely remember the context, the initial args and the original functions ever after my blind finishes running. The argument merger: you must combine two separate arrays. Okay, actually this is also technical D. Let's just understand how to think about no call apply restriction. The prompt states you cannot use dot call or dot apply inside the return function. Okay, this is the trickiest constraint. These are the constraint to bypass the rely on implicit binding in the JavaScript. In JavaScript, if you attach a function to object, call it directly from the object, this automatically points to an object. Okay, implicit binding rule: object equals to name js say hi. Okay, I didn't get it. Let's just ask them how we can solve this. How we can solve this and why so. We are solving in that way. Let's just understand. Actually, I have not practiced the oops concepts, so we have to learn oops concepts together so we can practice together. Here is exactly how you solve the discussed. Okay, function prototype dot blind equals to function and context dot reach. Okay, we are creating actually a function. Capture the original function this. Okay, return a new wrapper function. Okay, what we have done here, see. Okay, return a functions dot args. So this args is this is a not same. Return new wrapper function. Well, let's just understand what is going on here. Let's just bifurcate it. So see, we have build a function dot prototype dot my blind. Okay, in that we create a functions and erg. Let's remove this. Okay, so here we can see the function context dot arg. So this is a spread operator. So okay, it's just nothing calls here. So how does this work? Symbol, why we are using symbol here? This is also a type of a data type, something. Constant unique key symbol callback. Okay, temporarily attach the functions to a context object context key. Context is a, what is the context here? Context is this thing. We are using context, temporarily attach the functions to a context object. Okay, so context is an object, and in that object we have when unique key equals to original function is, which means this. So we have stored this in the unique key. Okay, the combined args, so this and this thing. Okay, whole this is a original function. This is a little confusing. Let's just understand. We are written a function. Okay, we are creating a prototype function create. How this function create dot blind. In that we have created a function. Okay, we have created a function and it's returned a closure, which means a wrapper function. A closure, it's returning a wrapper function. Okay, something like closure, it's returning a closure. So in that we are accessing, this is a private variable kind of. So in that private variable we are storing this. Okay, we are storing this value, and here we got an argument 2. Okay, which means multiple argument we will be getting a dot rest operator, spread operator here. Okay, in that we have okay, here in the first function we are getting a context object, and in that object we are storing a unique key symbol using symbol and like this. Okay, and okay, this unique key, this is a key and unique key. In that object we have been storing keys value is original function, which means we are accessing the private variables value inside our object. Okay, in that now we are creating a combined args. Okay, combined args. Okay, it's and passing those two values. First of all this args, and second this closure value we are getting. Okay, const result context dot unique key and calling the unique key and combine arguments and delete the context unique key. Oh, okay, didn't understand. Explain this whole in ELI5 format so that I can understand it because it's too much much confusing here. Oh, actually it's too much confusing. I didn't get it how we can solve it. Real life analogy. Imagine you have a toy car named Great. This car has a screen on it display its owner name using this dot name. Right now the car is unassigned. If I turn it on, it looks like its owner this. The finds nobody. Okay, these are the things related to the OOPS concept which I don't know for now, so we have to practice it. So just copy the link and we will be completing this in the next session. Till then, have a good day, and we have to understand and we have to start learning from tomorrow the OOP concept so that we can practice like this, questions like this. Okay, sayonara, meet you later.